Hi, myself Naveen Kumar Saini. In the course Wireless and Mobile Communication, code REC 085, today we are going to discuss the multi-carrier modulation techniques. So what is a multi-carrier? So multi-carrier means there are different multiple carriers which we are using for the modulation. So in place of single carrier, we will use the multi-carrier modulation technique for transmission of the low bit data rate. So multi-carrier, the basic idea behind that is that we divide the transmitted bit stream into the many different substreams, and this can be sent through the all multiple different subchannels, or these subchannels are subcarriers. Okay, sorry. So in this, these subcarriers are or the sub channels, both are same thing or synonyms of each other in the wireless communication system. So the data rate on each of the subcarriers can be much less than the total data rate. So as in the single carrier case, we transmit the complete bit stream into the with very high data rates, but in the case of multi carrier, what we do, we divide the bit streams and we divide this small bit streams or the bunch of the streams with the different subcarriers, and we transmit it with very low data rates. So this is the basic significance of the multi-carrier techniques. So in that, what is the reason behind this, why we are doing it? So for that is to reduce the ISI, inter-symbol interference. So the ISI on each sub channel is very small as compared to the very long channel or the complete channel. So to reduce the ISI, we use a technique that is multi-carrier modulation. So this first system of where the MCM or the multi-carrier modulation technique was used, that was used in the military operations, where the military HF radio links, okay, in the late 1950s and early 1960s. So there is a special form of MCM, that is the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So this is the one of the very efficient technique which is used to bifurcate the complete channel into the small sub channels. So this is with the help of the dense space sub channels. Okay, there is a overlapping of the spectra of the modulation signal will be takes place. So this OFDM is different from the FDMA system. So in the FDMA, we are very much aware that when we have the signal, then we bifurcate these subcarriers into the bifurcate the channel into the subcarriers which is of some spacing. But in the case of multi-carrier or the OFDM system, what we do, we simply take the spectra of each signal and we draw the spectra like this. Okay, and the second is subcarrier, just like the first subcarrier, this second, but in this is the case of FDMA. And this is the case of OFDMA. So similar, we have the first subcarrier here, and second subcarrier will be the null point of the first subcarrier. So the peak will be from here, like this. So it will be like this. So there is the overlapping of the subcarriers, signal spectra of the subcarriers, and in that way this will be the orthogonal to each other. So in this case, the condition for orthogonality is first and two, these subcarriers will be orthogonal in nature. So because of that, the ISI can be reduced. Okay, so this OFDMA system, it can be used for the steep band pass filters that completely separated the spectrum of the individual subcarriers. So as it was common practice in our older frequency division multiplexing or multiplexing systems, so in place of that we use the OFDM systems. So in that, the digital transmission through the band limited channels, which causes the symbolic or symbol interference, to reduce that, or because of that reason, because of this ISI, the signal can channel or signal can be distorted. To avoid this issue, to reduce this distortion portion, we use the OFDM system or the multi-carrier modulation techniques. So information bearing is transmitted over a single carrier. Okay, so the SC FDMA system. So it shows that in the diagram. This is the spectra, this is the bandwidth. So in this complete band from 0 to W, so we divide this complete band into the small chunks of these bands, the first band, second band, third, fourth, and so on. So the width of this band is delta F. So this is the width of the band. So this width is very important to specify in any technology as today's wireless system have. So just like LTE, so in LTE, if you are aware about it, that is a LTE, is a long term evolution. So in this case, the value of delta F, that is equal to approximately is 50, this is a 15 kilohertz. Okay, so in this way we have to specify that this band frequency, that is delta F. So we create this n value, which is the number of subbands. This is equal to delta W divided by the delta F. So these are the number of subbands. So these are the number of subbands which is divided in terms of W. Okay. So in this, the FDM system is used for transmitting the n subcarriers at a time. Okay. So this is associated with the each subcarrier. So every bit stream is associated with the each subcarriers. Or another way we can say, we modulate the existing symbols or low bit stream into different subcarriers. So this is like subcarrier 1, this is subcarrier 2, this is subcarrier 3, and so on. So in this case, the intermediate frequency or the central frequency of each subband can be calculated based on this formula. So here the Fi is equal to F naught plus I minus 1 delta F, where I value will be from 1 to n, so which is a mid frequency in the ith subchannel. So in this, if the subcarriers are orthogonal over the symbol duration ds, then it is referred as the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So the concept of the concept of OFDM is utilized in this, where we have said that to transmit the low bit stream, we divide the complete bit serial bit stream into the parallel bit stream like that. So this is our complete bit stream, which we have the values of 0 and 0 on kind of 0, 0 and so on, and we divide this one into different parallel streams. So this is the M1 bits, M2 bits, and MK up to MK bits. So they are the groups of the K bits, or the group of the K number of bits. So in this case, we can also say that we modulate this M1 bits. So suppose we have M1 has a 3 bits, right? So first 3 bit like 1 0 0. So this is the 1 0 0. Similar to that, if we have this next is 0 1 0. So in this case, the M2 will be what? So I will write it here. M1, that is equal to that is 1 0 0. And similarly, M2 will be the second group of bits, which is we are assuming the 3 bits at a time. So this value will be 0 1 0. So it will be 0 1 0 and so on. So there will be the MK itself. So their value will be something like, just for example I am writing, so if I am taking this one as a 1 1 1. Okay, so in this we are writing the 1 1 1. So this is a complete bit stream which we are dividing into the different groups of bits, and M1 bits, M1 has the first group, M2 has the second group, M3 has the third group, and so on up to MK. So we divide this complete bit stream into the subgroups. Okay, then we convert it into serial to parallel converter, then it is modulate with the frequency f1, f2, f2, fk. So these sub-band frequencies are used for the modulation of these bit streams. So this modulation can be of any type. Maybe if you are taking only one bit at a time, so it will be BPSK signal or BPSK or QPSK or QAM or 16 QAM or 64 QAM. So based on the modulation schemes, we modulate these bits. So for that we require the carrier frequency. So these are the f1 to fk are the carrier frequencies which we are using for that. And after that we are just sum up all these frequencies. So it will create the one OFDM signal which come out from this system. So in this way the first OFDM symbol can be generated in the multi-carrier systems. So there are the property, as we said about the multi-carrier in the OFDM system, that is the orthogonality. Okay. So in this the basic principle of orthogonality is what? Where the two periodic signals are orthogonal when they follow, that the product over a one period of time will be 0. So we can see it here. If we have a continuous time signal, so in these two signals, it may be of a cosine 2 pi n f naught t and second cosine 2 pi m f naught t. So this product of two signals will be 0 in the time duration 0 to t when both are not same. In the discrete form, so this value, as we have mentioned here, discrete time, that is k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 cosine 2 pi k upon n, k n small n upon capital N, into the second discrete signal cosine 2 pi k m upon capital N is equal to 0. Okay. So this is the condition for the orthogonality. So just for example itself is mentioned the S1 and S2. So based on that we can also perform the orthogonality condition where S1t into S2t asterisk over a time period of t will be equal to 0. Okay. So in this way the orthogonality condition can be observed. So here it is mentioned that there are two consecutive pulses st, and this delayed version of st is that st minus t. So even though st has a long tail, the figure shows a tail passing through the 0 amplitude at the instant t is equal to capital T. So it shows that suppose we have the pulse where the one pulse, so this is our one pulse in the frequency domain, it is mentioned here. So when we convert into the time domain, so it shows that there is a sinc function. We are aware that if we have the input as in rectangular pulse, the output will be after the Fourier transform or inverse Fourier transform, it will become the sinc function. Okay, so this is a sinc function where it shows that the null point of the first pulse will be coincide with the height or peak of the second pulse, like this. So in this way, if we draw the waveform here itself, then it will again show that the wave which is coming passing on this point, so it will be the maximum point, same. So in this way we can say that the null point will match with the highest point of the second pulse. So it is the condition for the orthogonality. So conceptual representation of the multi-carrier system is, it shows that suppose we have f1 frequency symbol and corresponding signal is this one, second frequency f2 corresponding signal this one, again next signal which is passing through the f3 carrier, so corresponding signal is this. Similar to that we have the f4. So these are four different subcarriers which we are using, f1, f2, f3 and f4. So when we combine all this, then the complete response of all these four added signals will be like this. Okay, all the four frequency components are there. So this all in the frequency domain. So in the time domain, so this the resultant wave will looks like after the addition or after the after the summer. So these waves will look like this one. So this is the resultant wave. Okay, so it shows that in this figure that is the addition of all these waves which is mentioned here. Okay, so this one is the F1, then F2, F3 and F4. So all waves are representing in this way. Okay, so the resultant wave will look like this, the peaks of the different waves. So this is the resultant wave. So here is the example of 4 subcarriers with 3 symbols. Okay, 3 symbols per subcarriers at OFDM modulator stage. So what we have discussed previously, we assume the 3 bits. We have assumed the 3 bits and we modulate that 3 bits with one particular carrier frequency. So grouping of 3 bits there. But here itself, what we are talking about, they are the 4 subcarriers with 3 symbols. So 3 symbols like S1, S2, S3. So these are 3 symbols and corresponding subcarrier is F1. Then we have the next 3 symbols 4, 5 and 6. Then corresponding subband or subcarrier is F2. Next symbols, that is S7, S8 and S8, 9. So the corresponding frequency is F3 and so on up to F4, S10, S11, S4. So we are modulating these symbols like S1, S2, S3 with the carrier frequency F1 and S4, S5, S6 with the carrier frequency F2, S7, S8, S9 with the carrier frequency F3, then S10, S11, S12 with the carrier frequency F4. So with this band like F1, F2, F3, F4 will give the one OFDM symbol. So we can mention it as the OFDM. So this is one OFDM symbol. Okay. So in this way we do, first of all we select the symbols, then we group the symbols and then we modulate the symbols, or after that we add the symbols with different subcarriers. So that will create the one OFDM symbol. Okay, so it is a representation of all these things. So here there is a frame of OFDM. So OFDM frame is from here, it is the symbols S1, S2, S3, S4, S6 and so on. So here it shows that F7, S2 and S3, these are 3 symbols is corresponding to F1. Then we have S4, S5, S6 which is correspond to F2. So this is correspond to F2. Similar to that and so on, F3, F4 like that. So here it is assigned to a carrier serial to parallel conversion. So what we are doing, this is a serial, this is a serial. Now we are converted into the parallel form. So in parallel form it will be S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, S7, S8, S10. Then we have S10, 9, S10, 11 and 12. So in this case, this complete set is called the one OFDM symbol, as we have discussed previously. Okay. So we modulate S1, S2, S3 with the frequency F1. So modulation means simple multiplication of the symbols with the carrier frequency. Then we have this symbol. This is this is a second set of the parallel bit, that is S4, S5, S6. So this is the first parallel, the second, third and fourth. We are multiplying each stream, each 3 symbols with the frequency F1. Then second one is F2, S4. So when we multiply it, then the response will be like this. This is a modulated signal with the carrier frequency F1. This is a modulated signal with the frequency F2. This is modulating frequency signal with the carrier frequency F3. And then we have the last 4, F4 is the carrier frequency modulated signal. So the concept of carrier frequency allocation to the symbols just like we have mentioned the 3 symbols. Then there is the serial to parallel conversion and mapping into the frequency domain after the modulation. Okay. So in this way we do the multiplexing of the modulated signal. So this is called the 1 OFDM. Okay. So combining of all this is called the 1 OFDM symbol. OFDM symbol. Okay. So this is got the 1 OFDM symbol. But this is very important to know about the OFDM. One very basic and important property of OFDM symbol is to convert the frequency selective fading into the flat fading system. Because we are aware in the wireless communication system that the frequency selective fading occur and it will enhance the ISI, inter-symbol interference. So to reduce that, we use the concept of OFDM, which converts the wide band into the narrow band system, and in the narrow band system because it has the low frequency signals. So in this case the this will be, there is a very less ISI will be there, or the ISI can be mitigated in that. So this is the concept for the OFDM. So here it is mentioned that if the modulation scheme which are used in the ith subcarrier that can accommodate kth bits per symbol. Okay, so as we have discussed previously itself in the previous slides, kth bits per symbol. So in that case, the subcarriers which are spaced by the 1 upon ts, where ts is the symbol duration of the subcarrier. So in this case the separation will be delta f is equal to 1 upon ts. So the value of ts will be for per symbol. So this value will become ts is equal to n into TOFDM. So we have to select the value of n which is sufficiently large so that the narrow band can be we can get it. Okay, so in that case the symbol interval, that is ts of the subcarrier, which can be made sufficiently larger than the time duration of the channel time dispersal. So this is very important point. So in this case the ISI can made arbitrarily very small by selection of the value of n. Okay, so by the value by selection of n we can mitigate the ISI. So as long as we maintain the time synchronization among the subcarriers, then OFDM allows us to transmit a different number of bits per symbol on each subcarrier. So therefore the subcarriers can yield a higher SNR. Another property of that, when we are using the OFDM, then the SNR will be very high, and this is due to a very low attenuation. Why it is low attenuation? Because these subcarriers are orthogonal in nature, very less ISI, inter-symbol interference. So it means the attenuation will be very much less. Okay, so but each subcarrier has a low SNR values, but when we combine all these low SNR values, then the resultant will be very high SNR values. So this is the concept which we, through which we divide the complete subcarrier into the small subcarriers. So this is the formula which we are using the DFT, discrete Fourier transform concept. So we can also use the DFT or FFT for first Fourier transform. So in that, so this is your xi, which is representing the symbols which we want to transmit, multiply with the carrier frequency. So this is the modulated signal in terms of time which we want to transmit. Okay, so in that case a time variable sample at sampling will be takes place at t is equal to k t OFDM, which yields at the instant of k, kth symbol will be looks like 1 upon under root of n and xi exponential second term, and in that this I is equal to 1 I 0 to n minus 1. So the final expression for the kth symbol will be like this, xk is equal to this. So which is inverse Fourier transform. So in short, we just want to say in the OFDM system, at the transmitter side, the IDFT or IFFT is used, and in the reverse side FFT or the DFT is used for the OFDM symbol communication. So that is very important to know how to bifurcate the wide band into the lower band, narrow band. So for that purpose we require the IDFT or IFFT at the transmitting end, and at the receiving end that is DFT and the FFT. So at last we just want to see, let's see about the implementation of OFDM using the IDFT. So this is the simple method which we have discussed. We are just combined in the block diagram which represent the data. First step is to convert serial to parallel converter, then we modulate it with the help of frequencies. So these frequencies are given by this one, IDFT. Okay, so this F will give, so this is your F1, so we can mention it as the F1, F2 and so on up to Fk. Then we use the digital to analog converter, then we transmit through the channel. So this is the channel through which we transmit the signal, and then at the receiver side we use the A to D converter, analog to digital converter. So at this point we require different antennas, and at this point we require different antenna at the receiver side. So this section is your transmitting side, this is your channel, and this section is your receiver side. So reverse operation of the reverse operation will happen at the receiver side as we have done at the transmitting side. So A to D converter, then DFT, and then again it will come from parallel to serial converter. Then we use the estimated data through the decision making devices. Okay, so this is the block diagram for the OFDM implementation by IDFT and DFT. Okay, so in the next lecture we will discuss something more about it. So let's wait for that. Thank you very much.